Firstly, I lean on a framework as a starting place, and the youth physical development model helps with that to give context and to really individualize the training. It highlights a number of different factors, and chronological age is just one of them. So it's the growth and maturation piece that I'm really interested in at the moment as I learn more and more about it. And that's really got to do with the rate of growth that's occurring and the stage of physical development. PHV is peak height velocity, and that refers to the stage where there's the greatest acceleration in growth with regards to height. Now, if we know where the person is at in regard to that, then we can potentially or should potentially adapt the training. That is because there are certain themes and trends associated with different stages of maturation, and in and around peak height velocity, there's an increased risk of injury. Now, as I'm going to be working with a 13-year-old girl, there are further things to give context and to think about. For example, we know that in and around this time and shortly after it, related as well to the peak weight velocity, that there can actually be decreases in relative force output for girls, which can impact potentially their performance in the sports that they're doing. Let's say there's some really good research in soccer in this regard. So what can we do to support them to help them on the field and to help them with their strength capabilities and power capabilities? Additionally, we know that girls are significantly at higher risk of ACL injury. So what can I do to reduce that risk? Now, in this case, if they're only swimming, then that's not necessarily an immediate risk, but we want to think long term here and develop multiple qualities. Straight away gets me thinking about, okay, we want to develop general strength capabilities, but also we want to expose them to variety of movement. And then lastly, if we bring it back to swimming, that's not necessarily going to be the overwhelming focus of the training, but it is something that will be a consideration. For example, whether it be with shoulder mobility, is there something there that we can support if that's very important for swimmers? And also if there's areas that are more common for injury, what can we do to reduce that risk of injury? But really, we need to think about this in terms of what's the context with regard to their training history. They need more of a focus on foundational movement skills. Lastly, what I would just say is that, should or rather, does a 13-year-old girl benefit from strength training? Absolutely. Would an 11-year-old or 12-year-old girl benefit from strength training? Absolutely. Previously, historically, there's been some caution around this, but if they are supported by a professional and the training is delivered in a safe and appropriate way, then it's absolutely a good thing. And strength training is just one quality or one component of a well-rounded approach to athletic development.